Good morning, students. Have a nice day. Our today's topic is the fall of Aristotelian universe. There are two type theories is related to our astrology in history. First one is geocentric theory and the other one is heliocentric theory. In heliocentric, sun is the center and earth has an orbit that rotates around the sun. Now we follow the heliocentric theory. And next theory is geocentric theory. Let's go to the geocentric theory. In this theory, the earth is the center. The sun has an orbit that rotates around the earth. The geocentric theory was proposed by Aristotle. In this theory, the earth is located at the center of the universe and all the planets revolve around the earth. The geocentric theory was believed by the Catholic Church, especially because the church thought that God put earth as the center of the universe, which made earth special and powerful. The idea of the earth actually moving was widely felt as a foolish suggestion because as they saw it, the earth was moving, they would be able to feel it. So the geocentric theory is, once again I tell you, the geocentric theory is proposed by Aristotle. He believed that the earth is located at the center of the universe and all the planets revolve around the earth. Unfortunately, it is not true. In geocentric theory, the simple model of revolutions of spheres could not explain all astronomical phenomena. In particular, planets were observed to wander across the fixed field of stars over time. Mostly they wandered in one direction, but occasionally they seemed to reverse course. In the realm of change, the natural motion of earthy materials was to seek the center of the universe. This is why Aristotle placed the earth at the center of the cosmos. This is also his explanation for why objects fall when dropped. A dropped object is just following its natural tendency to seek the center of the universe. Next theory is heliocentric theory. The word heliocentric comes from the Greek. Helio means sun. Heliocentrism, an astronomical theory, assumes the sun is the center of the solar system and all the planet orbit the sun. It is proposed by a famous astronomer. His name is Nicholas Copernicus. This theory have high controversial at the time. Copernicus was told by many scholars that he should make his new findings accessible to others by publishing it. In 1543, the book called On the Revolution of the Heavenly Bodies was released. Copernicus's book had a great impact that angered the Catholic and Protestant church. The church became so angry. The geocentric theory made human beings seem closer to God, and since Earth was the center, that meant humans were more special. The heliocentric theory changed that all perspective completely. That's why the Catholic Church has become very angry. The heliocentric model or the heliocentric theory was supported by some astronomers. There were Kepler, Galileo and Bruno. Kepler showed that the planets do not orbit in perfect circle, and Galileo built very good telescope that helped to confirm the heliocentric model. Galileo is an Italian scientist, was renowned for his contribution to physics, astronomy and scientific philosophy. He is regarded as the chief founder of the modern science. Galileo was condemned by the Catholic Church for his view of cosmos based on the theory of Copernicus. Bruno, he's a great astronomer. He also supported Copernicus' theory. He was a philosopher who believed that the earth was not the center of the universe and that the earth was extremely small in importance when compared to the greater infinite universe. He traveled across Europe to spread his idea. He also spoke out against the church and was burned at the stake for it. Next topic is advancement in India. When Europe was going through a renaissance in science, India was gradually fading into a legend. Very little original work was being carried out in any of the sciences, and what passed for the scholarship was the traditious reinterpretation of the past masters and held disputes about what they actually meant. The only expectation was an active tradition in mathematics and astrology, which flourished in the remote corner in southwest India, in what is now called central Kerala. The spread of Indian science. The Indian science very probably had link with the Greek science in the latest early stage. The Hippocratic collection mentions some Indian medicine. In astrology, calendar duration decide upon the Heraclitus and the Babylonian correspond to the Indian values. There are several other points also which link the Babylonian astrology to that of the Vedic Indians. The most spectacular influence of Indian science was, however, in the neighboring countries of Tibet, China, Japan, Indonesia, and Indonesia. The deep penetration of the Indian religion into this nation brought with considerable scientific exchange also. In China, for example, the office of the Sui dynasty completed in 636 AD contained in the usual bibliographical catalogue the title of large number of books, now lost, being with the word of Prolomin or Brahmin. The next topic is modern scientific outlook. The first half of the 14th century saw a rapid waning of the traditional reliances on authority and deductive reasoning from supposed general principle. On this positive side, there developed a new reliance on experience and especially on planned experimentation as a way to acquire knowledge. And Gilbert Beckham and the experimental method. If you are looking for a milestone year for the beginning of the modern era in science, we may choose 1600. That was the year in which William Gilbert, court physician to the Queen Elizabeth, published his book concerning the magnet. Gilbert took over and extended the experimental work for the 16th century compass maker Robert Norman and also the 13th century writer de Maricourt. Norman had found that the magnetic needle suspended at its center not only pointed on to the north but also assumed an angle to the vertical known as the dip. He floated a magnet on water spotted by Crook and found that the magnet only turned on the north-south direction but did not move either to the north or the south. From this, he concluded the magnetism was only an orienting force and not a motive force. Gilbert repeated these studies and then following Maricourt, he made spherical lodestone, which he called little earths, and mapped out the magnetic meridians with the compass needle and chalk. He showed that the phenomenon of dip was exhibited by this little earth also. He also discovered that the lodestone cap with iron have enhanced magnetic power. An important Quantitative finding of Gilbert was that the attractive power of lodestone were proportional to the size. Next, we discuss about Francis Bacon and his scientific method. He has two approaches. One is natural philosophy, and another one is scientific method. In his scientific method, the purpose of research is, should follow some basic steps or some basic process. First one is hypothesis, then experiment, then analysis, finally conclusion. Those are the basic step of a research. And we are familiar with the quote, knowledge is power. Once again I tell you, knowledge is power. This quote is given by the famous scientist Francis Bacon. Thank you, students. I think this video is very informative for you. In this section we discuss only about the Medieval science, or the different contributions of to science in the Medieval period after the Renaissance. Thank you all.